Undisputed. Had to watch today. I wanted to see what they had to say about Dame's debut in Milwaukee,
Dame made
man.
a stunning run,
Let's
and
see,
the
man.
Bucks held on to win
Let's see, man.
114 to 113.
Sheesh.
Keyshawn
It was
Johnson,
insane.
your biggest takeaway.
It was insane. Make sure to check out the reaction
I
yesterday.
would say it's Dame Lillard. His debut,
Yeah.
39
They got
points,
Rachel,
the most in a
Jimmy Butler,
Bucks debut. And they had a lot
Butler,
of great players playing that franchise.
Nichols.
But when you go out and you get a guy like this, as you and Rachel know, he's going to add something. I know we talked about them missing something on the defensive end, but that's okay. That's okay, because when you score 39, that makes up for whatever little bit of defense you surrender.
That does.
And Giannis doesn't have to carry the basketball team, although Middleton didn't play well, he didn't score well. But at the same time, when you look at it, you got a two-headed monster right here. You got two of the best all-time at their position doing what he's able to do. Okay, he made all 17 free throws. Okay, and so when you start to really look at what he's bringing to the table, it's something different about Drew Holiday being on the floor for Milwaukee versus Dame. Dame brought this energy, this snack, crackle, pop, this we here type behavior. I felt like they felt good about him. They didn't say, well, we diss on Drew Holiday. It just felt like that they was behind Dame 100% in this situation. I'm just applauding it. They made the right move, in my opinion, getting a guy that can score at a high clip with no problem at all, creating his own shot if he needed to. He was walking into threes, man. He's walking into them and launching them, Rachel.
I don't know. I saw him stepping back into him.
Oh, yes,
stepping back into him as well.
Well, look, he did exactly what this Bucks team traded for him to do. He was great in crunch time. He was great in the clutch. Of all those points you just talked about, he 11-point run to close out this game. He had the Bucks' last 11 points. You look at this team last year, they were 18th in clutch time, their offense was. Now, all of a sudden, look, they've got Damian Lillard, and it made a difference throughout the whole game. And Dame was able to be fresher, by the way, for that fourth quarter, because he said the difference with this team is in Portland, he had to not only do everything he does, but he had to call out plays, he had to direct traffic, he had to sort of tell some of the other players what was going on defensively. He doesn't have to do that here. Chris Middleton does that. Brook Lopez does that. So he can be even more of the player that they wanted. And look what the result is. Damian Lillard.
Okay. I found this game to be extremely weird to watch because for about 3/4 of this game, the Sixers looked like I thought they were going to look without James Harden and with the Harden cloud still hanging over the franchise. They just looked hapless, hopeless, lifeless. They just looked completely out of sync, out of sorts. And they trailed at one point by 19 points. And then all of a sudden, Tyrese Maxey, who I just love what he's met. You want to talk about the dog in him. You want to talk about guts and heart and whatever all those intangibles are. He started to catch fire, and then they caught fire, and they make an incredible run to go from 19 down to 8 up. That's with 6:47 left in the game. They are 8 up. Dame missed a little 4-footer in the lane that he usually makes, and all of a sudden, Joel Embiid, the reigning MVP, has got a 15-foot jump shot, and if he makes that at the elbow, it's a 10-point game with 6 minutes left, and that might have been enough to hang in and hang on to that. I will never know, but I was astounded by that they had a chance to go up 10. And then the shot of the night for me was, and I'll show it to you, the Bucks come back down, and Brook Lopez, at 7 feet tall, who can shoot threes, he just pulls right up at the top of the circle and says, I got this. He just says, I got this. They just leave him wide open, and Embiid can go out and get him. And he banged it home to cut it back to 5. It was like a big shot because then Embiid turns the ball over. And then I'll show you the next one. Jay Crowder hits another bomb 3, and all of a sudden it's cut all the way down to 2. That's why the 3 is so lethal, especially when you're home, because now the crowd has been re-detonated. Then Dame missed a 3. He didn't shoot that. I think he's 4 of 12 from 3. And Embiid misses a 3 on top of it, and I'll show you one more. Giannis makes a big shot to tie the game at 4:40, a little jumper in the lane. This is a Crowder shot. And then we got a little jumper in the lane by Giannis, like about 9 feet. Good shot. And that suddenly ties the game and sets up Dame to go crazy. What did he score, like 14 in the
11
last
straight,
four?
last 11 straight.
Okay. So, but my point was, the Sixers had them dead to rights for a while, and Joel Embiid, I got to tell you, if you're the reigning MVP, you have to be better than this. I'm a big fan of his. I predicted he'd win MVP last year. I pushed for him to win MVP, but I'm going to show you 3 plays when they had a chance to win the game that he did not make, if we could see the all 3 together here. This is just before the Dame run. Joel comes down, and that's the first jumper that he misses. Okay, usually that's like a free throw for him. And then we got the kick back to Embiid, and that's a bad idea, and he turns the ball. You can't do it there because they're going to go crazy. And then he's got a 3. He made 3 of them last night, but he missed. That was a real big clutch one that could have stopped the bleeding. Right. But then Dame went crazy. He had a wide open 3 that Giannis kicked back to him, and he nailed it, which is not always that easy to do, and went crazy. So it was a great opening night for the dynamic duo, and now we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna get down on Joel Embiid because he missed a few shots down the stretch, and because he was the former MVP. I'm not gonna do that in the second game of the opening season. Come on now,
guys,
that's
you're missing it. Who's missing from that team last night? James Harden. 10.7 assists a game last season. That was the leader in the NBA. He was the best in the NBA at that. And he was so good at getting Joel the ball exactly where he needed it to be. And this is the conundrum for the Sixers going forward. A lot of people are saying, why don't you just sit James Harden at home? He's obviously a distraction. This whole drama with the airplane and the tarmac and
man, let me know your thoughts. Dame time in Milwaukee.